Hi, Pamela. How are you?
Hello, hello. I'm great, thanks. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you so much for joining me today. I think it's going to be another interesting episode. Can you please tell us about yourself?
Yes, certainly. Well, I'm a mum. I'm
Mm-hmm.
an author. I have a few books out, and I also have a jewelry business. I have about three businesses actually. I'm an entrepreneur, and I help women find their sparkle, their passion, and their purpose.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you offer like a coaching service to your to women who need help?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. I offer what I like to call a heart to heart coaching session. I've got a
Mm-hmm.
coaching program, and basically, I get together with them and help them reconnect with themselves. So, find themselves again, fall in love with themselves,
Mm-hmm.
find their sparkle, and discover their passion, reignite it, and find their purpose.
Perfect. So, what is the main complaint of a person who would seek your services? Like, what are they complaining about?
Mm,
What are they missing in their life?
yeah. Usually, people turn to me when they've had to overcome some sort of adversity, whether
Mm,
they're at a turning point in their life and they feel lost, they don't know what their next step is, and I help them regain that clarity so they know that their next steps, remove that overwhelm, so things feel possible, and then spark their potential so they realize just how capable they are.
yeah, that's a very important step, right? Getting
Absolutely.
in tune with what do we really want, and also trying to find that courage in ourselves.
Yes, absolutely. Because it does take courage. And I think at first and foremost, you need to come to that decision yourself
Mhm.
of whether you're ready to take that and be open to those next steps. Because not everyone is. It depends on your personal situation. At the time, you may feel so down that you can't even pick yourself up and you can't even believe that there is a possibility out there. There's hope, but that you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And sometimes you need to get that the next stage where you say, okay, now I'm ready. I can't take this anymore. I can't go on like this. Something needs to change. And then that's when you start making your breakthrough.
I see. And I think with change is a scary word, I think.
Mm,
Like
yeah.
it depends on your mood, it depends on like how where you are in your life. It can be scary, it can be very adventurous, it can be anything you want. So I think most of the time women are also scared of change because they don't want to maybe fail, right? Because change can also come with some failure too.
That's right. Yes. Nobody likes change. I mean, but I do think the only certainty we have is change. We have to keep changing really and
Mhm.
pivot and try new things. Otherwise, we'll still be still stuck. It's like a child when they first begin to walk. They don't know how they're going to do it. They don't know how
Yeah.
they're going to manage, but they have to keep going. Otherwise, they'll never walk. Sometimes you just have to take that next initial step. And also, I think it's important to have a little bit of curiosity. That's an element of adventure as well. I think that also helps because who knows where that step can lead to? You don't know what's around the corner, but then you'll never know unless you take that step.
Yeah, yeah. And since we are talking about women in their 30s, I think many women are uh, seeking to change, but they are also afraid to change because they might have like children, they might
Mm-hmm.
have like commitment, they might have financial responsibilities. So I think we also have to remind them that change can also be a slow and steady process. It cannot be always like a big sudden change,
Yes.
right?
Yes,
So
absolutely. Yes, it doesn't necessarily have to happen overnight. We hear a lot about these overnight successes, but I always like to think that actually they take longer than you think to get there. It could be just the little consistent steps that you take every day, little
mhm.
bits. I think there's heroes in all of us. It doesn't have to be the superhero doing all the things that you see maybe online. It could be the hero that takes her children to school, or cooks a meal, or starts a business, or just connects with someone they haven't spoken to for a long time, makes a phone call. I think heroes come in many forms.
Yeah, you are right. So when you offer your services, do you have a specific program, like a structured program, or do you create your program according to your clients' needs and situation?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's very personalized, really. It
Mhm.
depends on the person's situation, really. But I think it all starts with loving yourself.
Mhm.
So at first, I would take them and guide them through steps that they can do to love themselves more, and find out where they are. For example, if they're feeling lost, if their self-esteem is suffering, I would first of all, there's an exercise I like to take them through where they write down all the good qualities they have about themselves, all their strengths. I like to do a bit of like a SWOT analysis, really, but for
Mhm.
yourself, really, when you go through your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and things, that challenges that you have, and go through that and take them individually, step by step, and through love, of course, and because it's very much heart to heart connection, and then find out really stuff that there might be things that you don't even know about yourself, that or things that you've forgotten. For example, when you were younger, you might have enjoyed to paint or draw, but you've forgotten
Mhm.
that. You might
Mhm.
want you might have always wanted to write a book, but you've forgotten that passion. You put that all on the back burner and just forgot about it. But then when you get back into it, you find, oh, actually I really enjoy this, and then that sparks that joy that you've forgotten all about, and they're all starting points, really.
Yeah, yeah. And you have like many different careers in your pocket. So you are an author, you are an entrepreneur. So like, can you tell us more about like how to find that passion of ours, like, and also for women in their 30s, and how to make that into a career?
Mm.
Like,
First of all, I
you
think I
started
think
as an author, right? Like,
no, I started as an entrepreneur, and it
entrepreneur,
all, for
sorry.
me, it all happened by accident.
Uh-huh.
Literally, at the time I was working in a Catholic school, and I really enjoyed my job, and it was a hot summer's day, and I went out to tackle the rose bushes, which I'm no gardener, I can tell you, but I ordered these heavy duty gardening tools. I went out there, started hacking away, and basically I injured my hand, my right hand, and very badly. It was physically shaking uncontrollably. I couldn't even hold a glass of water. After various trips to the doctors and hospital visits and physio, I've just found out, and I was told that I can't use it again. It would cause permanent injury. Um, I could no longer work, so I was rock bottom. I was at the rock bottom. I
Mhm.
didn't know what to do. How was I going to support my family? I'm very musical, and I couldn't pick up the guitar, and I
No.
couldn't even do the basics. I couldn't dress myself. I needed help cutting my food, everything. So in a way, I had to start over, and it was during this time where I was in the physio department and I was in the waiting room. I bought myself a bracelet to cheer myself up, and the receptionist looks across to me and said, "Oh, that's a lovely bracelet," and then we started talking about it. And, that really cheered me up. When I went home that day, I went home with the spring in my step. And later on that evening, I thought, oh, wow, I feel really good. I feel really special. And it's been a long time since I felt good, since I got that smile back on my face. And I thought, hang on a minute, what can I do to help other women feel just as special as I do right now?
Mhm.
And then it was almost like the bracelet was twinkling to me. And I thought, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to start selling these bracelets. So I bought a few, started selling them, and they sold really well. And then I started adding to the range, the collection. And then I thought, hang on a minute now, where do women feel most special? So I thought, oh, on their wedding day. So I started adding on wedding jewelry and things like that. And then it all went from there and it took off really. We started winning awards, started appearing in publications, media got in touch, like British Vogue got in touch, and it went really well. So I was helping other women find their sparkle through jewelry at the time. That's how my entrepreneurial journey started. And that all started from the first step. If I hadn't have taken that, who knows?
Of course, of course. So I think, like you mentioned, connecting with other people, you know, your first connection with that person who sold you the bracelet made you, like, cheered you up. So
Yes.
the both connection with others and connection, I think, with ourselves is the key, right? So
Absolutely, yes.
we have to keep them both alive.
Yes, they have. Yes, absolutely. You have to. I think it's important to listen to yourself and to also guide your inner knowing what to do, what feels right for you. I think that's really important. And I think in the busy everyday lives, we can sometimes lose ourselves and forget ourselves and what we're all about. So I think it's really important to tap into our feelings about and you know, just don't forget ourselves, really.
Yes, yes. As you know, I have also 3 questions for you. And my first question is, what were the breaking points in your 30s that, if there were any, that made you change your life, your point of view, or anything about your thoughts and actions?
Yes, certainly. I mean, I was working, I had a really good job. I was working in banking at the time, and it was one of those jobs where you sort of go all the time. And I, in a way, I kind of forgot myself. I got lost in it all. And I started, I had ill health. I suffered a lot of ill health at the time. And then I had to really tap into myself and think, hang on, what is it? And I just felt like I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. I mean, at first it felt good, but afterwards there's something that was misaligned there. So what I did, even though I was successful and I'd won awards and things like that, and I helped a lot of people, I just listened to my gut instinct and I left the job. I didn't have a job to go to or anything like that. I built up a career. I was going really well. It was going really well. And I remember and I just left, and it was just before Christmas. So in the new year, I didn't know what I was going to do, but I took that leap of faith and I thought, you know what, it feels right. And when I did hand in that resignation, I felt like so much pressure had been taken off my shoulders. I felt like I was doing the right thing. Couldn't explain it to anyone because on paper, logically, you know, anyone thinks I'm crazy. What are you doing? You're doing so well and everything. And, you know, and it's a really good job and everything like that, good career. And well, you work so hard for it. But I had to do what felt right for me. And at that time, even though I didn't have anything to go to, I took that leap of faith. And that was a big turning point for me. So then after that, I took some time out and really reconnected with myself again. Like, what did I want to do? What felt right? I remember way back then I was doing a writing course. So I did do a writing course. But then, you know, then afterwards I thought, okay, what else did I want to do? And I remember at the time I was renting and I thought, actually, I'd like to buy a house. I really want to buy a house. I want a house with a garden. And I had it like, this was my goal and this is what I wanted to do. So, I basically found the right job. I found the right thing and I did that. And that was my mission. And I was like determined and that was my goal. So I did that. And then it wasn't too long afterwards, I actually managed to buy a house. And then it was good because in a way that reinforced my leap of faith that I took in myself. It made me trust myself. And I think it's really important to have that self-belief and to know that you can do something if you have got that self-belief. But I think first of all, you need to listen to yourself, trust your inner knowing. And even though it may not make sense, just go with it.
Well, yeah. So like we mentioned, change can be quick and sudden, but it can also be slow. Maybe for people who don't have the financial, you know, security to cover themselves for some period of time, they can maybe do that change like step by step, right? Maybe taking
Exactly.
those courses, or like preparing themselves
Yes.
while they are having their job, and then they can
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, absolutely. That's probably the most sensible way to do it, to be honest with you. I think if you do take it slowly, I think it probably lasts longer, the outcome.
yes,
But there's nothing wrong with small steps, I
yes,
think the main thing is to make that decision and go in that direction that's right, that feels right.
yes.
I think
Maybe
that's the main thing.
in that situation you need like an accountability person, so that you make sure that you take those steps,
Yes.
because with the struggles of like daily struggles and daily responsibilities, sometimes we say, okay, I'm gonna change my career, I'm gonna invest myself, I'm gonna do this, and then like a week later we say, you know what, this is draining
Absolutely.
me out. So the first
Yes.
thing we left out is, maybe the most important piece of our life, but we usually first let out things that are very important for our self investment. So maybe in that situation, asking your services and also trying to find your spark and courage
Yes.
inside is the most important part, right?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I think it always helps having somebody, especially someone who's been through a lot
Mm,
of adversity or change or anything like that. Because if anything, that's a shortcut, and it could help you prevent you having that pain, going through that heartache.
mhm.
It could save you time as well, and all that hardship. Why do it all yourself and make it harder for yourself when you can reach out and have that help, and in a way have that helping hand to help you through it. We don't have to do this by ourselves.
Yes, and also what I mentioned with my clients too. Sometimes the solution they are looking for is right in front of them, but they are so busy with the
Yes.
details, so like so preoccupied with everything, with daily life and everything, they cannot see it. But once we start talking, when we start like analyzing their life and their habits and everything, they find the solution right away. It's not like
Yes.
we are dictating them the solution. At the end, it's the client's uh, job, let's say, or desire to find solution, and then they find the solution by themselves and right away, usually, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, sometimes it's always easier for someone else to see that
Uh-huh,
perspective, and
uh-huh.
and then it gives you. I think that can help you have that courage and to go for it yourself as well.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
also to help you realize that it is possible, because
Mm-hmm.
if you've seen someone else do it,
Doing it.
it makes it possible for you, and it gives you hope that actually she's doing it. Actually, I can do it too. I can do it, and it strengthens. It has that, makes you realize just how capable you can be.
Yeah. Well, my second question is about one thing that you swore by in your 30s that you don't believe in anymore. It can be anything. It
Yes,
can be a habit. It can be like anything.
yes. When I was in my 30s, I was very competitive,
Mm-hmm.
and very much so. And it was almost like I saw something and I wouldn't see anything else. That was it. I had to, go get something. But now I realize that I don't see it as competition now. And now I see more as collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
Now I think I don't really subscribe to the hustle culture where you just go, 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 million
Mm-hmm.
miles an hour, and it doesn't matter what else happens to anyone around you. I don't really subscribe to that. I think there I think there's a time to work and there's a time to be more, I like to say, gathered and more measured, and you know, draw yourself back from it and look at the bigger picture and see what's going on, and instead of just competing with other people,
Mm-hmm.
helping collaborate with them, because we're all in this together. You don't have to do it, like I said, do it all by yourself. there's plenty enough to go around for everybody, and helping each other, I think, is much more rewarding.
Yeah. Well, I think this message is always like bombarding us, like you can do it all, and you don't need to ask for help kind of message is always in our head. But I think actually I was talking with a client yesterday, and I said, you can do it all, but you don't have to do it at the same time,
Yes. Yes.
And delegating, asking for help is also very important. And asking for help, it's not a sign of weakness. You have to also delegate some work to other people, and you can also even tell your friend that you feel very down today, you need to talk, you need to cheer up, and all these things, so if you don't let people know about what you need, they cannot create help or solution for you, right?
That's right. I think vulnerability is a strength, it's an asset. And sharing your feelings, I think it helps so much. I mean, when I was writing my books, one thing I found was that the amount of people that related to what I was saying and what I was talking about, and that really blew my mind. I was thinking, because at the time when I was going through it, I thought I was the only person going through it, and that's a really lonely place to be, thinking and isolating if you think that you're the only person going through it. But if you're sharing it and then you realize, oh, I feel this way too. I relate to, I can relate to this. Suddenly, the world is a much more beautiful place, because you realize that actually you're not on your own. You're not by yourself. You don't need to be, but you would never know that unless you start sharing.
Yes. By the way, you also mentioned your books. I will provide the name of the book. So if anybody is interested, they can start maybe reading your books to understand your ideas. So my last question is, if your 30-year-old self would be sitting right across you right now, what would you tell her to do or not to do, or to be careful with?
I would say that you are unique. You don't need to compare yourself with other people. You have your own unique gifts. I mean, I think today, especially, we're too busy, our heads constantly spinning, looking at what other people are doing. We're forgetting about ourselves. And I think you need to embrace your unique gifts, because we all have them. Sometimes you might have to dig deeper than you think, but you have got them, and just be you, because you're here for a reason. So don't be afraid to be yourself.
Yes. Oh, that's beautifully said. Well, I think we passed along very important messages and very critical messages too, like it all start with us and it all end with us. So, and the most important piece of the puzzle is ourself. So we have to make that investment. We have to take care of ourselves a lot. Of course, when I say that, I don't mean that we have to, forget everybody else, all other responsibilities, but we have to also remind ourselves that we are important too. Right?
Absolutely. You need to fill your cup up first before you can help others, because it all starts with you. So if you're in a bad place, you're not going to be able to help other people. But if you are full of love, you can.
Yeah. So is there any last minute message that you would like to pass along to our listeners?
I would say just remember that you are enough.
And I believe that you also have a gift, a free gift for all the people who are listening, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, I have a mental fitness planner and guide. And because we all do that, we all go through ups and downs in life. And I think it's important to cultivate resilience whether it's emotional, physical, mentally, to help us navigate life.
So how they can use that?
They can use it. There are prompts in there. They can use it, and there are also like habits that they can do in there. And it's like a challenge basically. So they'll also get tips through their emails as well, where it will give you tips that you can do to help you prepare and to keep up the good habits.
Okay. And where they can find it?
Yeah. If you go to Pamela Sommers, that's SOMMERS, PamelaSommers.com/free gift.
Okay. And I will also put it in the info for the podcast for this episode so that they can also find it there.
Thank you.
Well, Pamela, thank you so much. I think your story is fascinating and very encouraging, and also your message too. I'm so happy to have you as a guest.
Oh, thank you so much. It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.